Hi friends, my name is Lucy and this is my first video on this channel. So I have been requested to make a YouTube channel by some friends and acquaintances for quite a while, and I decided that now would be the perfect time to do that because it's almost IBD Awareness Week. If you didn't know, IBD Awareness Week is December 1st through 7th, and the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, which I have interned with, volunteered with, etc., for many a year, is going to be sharing stories online of patients. And the prompt this year is, what is your biggest challenge with IBD? In the past, I have been featured on the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation's website before, and this is a new prompt, so I haven't answered it before. So I filmed a little ditty that I'm submitting to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. I don't know whether they're gonna post it or not, but regardless, I am including that in this video as my premiere on the YouTube. So before I start that video, since absolutely nobody knows who I am on the internet, my name is Lucy and I live with multiple chronic illnesses, and I also identify as queer. Some of the chronic illnesses that I personally identify with having are Crohn's disease, technically indeterminate Crohn's and colitis in my case, as well as fibromyalgia, EDS, which is short for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, as well as a couple of mental health diagnoses as well. I wanted to create this channel upon request from some people that I know to basically spread awareness and knowledge and build a shared community of folks that have intersecting, integrated identities. So in my case, that would be being a gay woman with disabilities and multiple disabilities, because each one has different symptoms and different stigmas. Some of them are invisible, some of them are visible. Sometimes I use a walker, sometimes I use crutches, and sometimes I walk on my own. Some of my diagnoses are mental and some are physical. Some kind of come and go in flares, others are there kind of constantly. Some inhibit me more at work than others. Some inhibit me more in my social life than others. And I think that it's so important to talk about having multiple different identities that affect you differently, but all at the same time, because it makes you a whole human being. In the past, I have been involved with various different specific nonprofits and organizations for specific identities that I identify with. For example, an LGBTQ plus resource center, or an organization for Crohn's disease, or an organization for fibromyalgia, etc. But what I would absolutely love, which I have never seen, is just a community space, whether online or in person, for folks that just want to talk about stuff that they deal with that interacts with each other and that they can identify with a common community. Sometimes I'll be at an event for Crohn's and colitis, and I really want to talk to somebody about the challenges that I face with my mobility and with using a walker or crutches, but I'm at a Crohn's and colitis event, and not everybody there has those kinds of symptoms because that's not necessarily related to my Crohn's and colitis, that's related to some of the other crap that I deal with. And so I just kind of feel like, oh, well, if I want to talk about that, then I need to find a different group. But then when I go to that group, then I can't talk about my Crohn's and colitis. And then don't even get me started.
Wait till I get going!
On the social aspect of the queer community as well. A lot of spaces for queer young adults are the club or the bar or, dancing and partying in general, which everybody likes to do, honestly. Whether you're straight, queer, whatever. People like to do that. If you're young, go out and have fun. But for some people that have chronic illnesses, it's not a super great choice. I don't like to go to the club. I don't drink alcohol, and I'm a little bit limited in my dancing abilities. I mean, I'm kind of bad at it, but also I can't always walk. So as an adult, going out into the world and trying to meet other fellow queers can be a little bit challenging if you have a disability. So it would be really awesome if there was a community of people that were like, oh yeah, I'm gay and I get that. And also, I'm disabled and I get that too. Another reason that I wanted to start this channel is because I get asked, hella questions about being disabled. Whether it's friends, coworkers, family members, or really people that I don't even know that want to ask me a question will come up to me and be like, hey, Lucy, what was your diagnostic process like? Like, what was your symptoms for this? And how long did it take you to get diagnosed with this? And how did you know you had this and not this? And also just people wanting to know how the heck the body works. Not everybody on the street knows what fibromyalgia is. Not everybody knows how the spinal cord works or the digestive tract, etc. I am not an expert. I'm not a doctor, but I am somebody with a lot of chronic health issues, and I also have a degree in public health. So basically the goal of this channel, or at least this video if anybody watches it, is twofold. One, I want there to be an awesome community space for people to come together, ask questions, get to know each other, give each other support, feel like they're around like-minded individuals, because I know that people are out there that have intersecting identities that just want people to understand. And then the second goal is just to educate people, shed a little light on some stuff that not everybody knows. And let's be honest, when you don't know something, a lot of the time you go to the internet, like Google or YouTube, so here I am. So that all being said, the following is the video that I submitted to the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation for IBD Awareness Week, December 1st through 7th. Hi, my name is Lucy and I live with indeterminate Crohn's colitis. I was diagnosed at the age of 15 and now I am 22. So I was diagnosed around 7 or 8 years ago. And for me personally, the hardest part of having IBD is kind of the comorbidities associated with it, slash being somebody that has multiple autoimmune diseases and never knowing which one is the culprit. Basically, because my immune system is so overactive, I never really know if the pain or the fatigue I'm feeling is from my Crohn's or if it's from fibromyalgia or from my EDS, etc., etc. I also have diagnosed mental health issues as well, and kind of balancing the body as a whole can be really challenging when you have multiple doctors, multiple medications, and multiple treatment regimens that you have to balance. As someone with a chronic illness, it's a full-time job to take care of yourself and to make sure that the foods you're eating, the medications you're taking, etc., are good for not just that symptom, but won't interact with the other medications or treatments that you're taking. I think also the fact that sometimes IBD can be an invisible illness and some of the other disabilities that I identify with are not invisible. Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in that limbo where sometimes I feel like I'm an individual with an invisible illness, and other days where I'm using a walker or crutches, it's very visible. So it's a very unique perspective that I don't think a lot of people share, and I think that I can see both sides. I can see the stigma that comes with not having a visible disability and the stigma when you are using something such as a mobility device. So, long story short, I think the most challenging part of having IBD, for me personally, is everything that comes with having a problematic immune system, whether that entails having multiple autoimmune diseases or balancing the fact that sometimes your disease is visible and sometimes it's not, and just dealing with all the different doctors and schedules that you have to do when you're a person with a chronic illness full time. Thank you for listening.